We might not, but just record it. I'm gonna talk to, just watch. Yeah, so Stephanie, that's a really good question. Coming to the end of the year, what are things that someone can proactively buy, in order to make a spend towards the end of the year to reduce their tax liability? And the things that I always think about is, number one, is that if you need it, you buy it. For some companies, it does make sense to pre-buy chemical. I'm not a huge fan of overbuying chemical, because even though the distributors are gonna give you some pretty big discounts, the reality is you still are locking yourself into having to pay for it. And a lot of times what we'll see is companies are like, well, I can commit to this for next year. And the reality is that sometimes those commits don't work out and they get stuck with a lot of inventory. So from my standpoint, and a lot of the chemical companies are our friends and things like that, but from my standpoint, I say buy it through a quarter potentially. That helps you a little bit. Related to vehicles, because a lot of times people are out there buying new personal vehicles and new stuff end of year, which can work okay if you need a new vehicle, not just to do it. If you can actively say, hey, I know that I can put a new route on once a month or every other week or every 3 months, then sometimes it makes sense to pre-buy trucks at the end of the year so that you can fill them up and make money with them. That makes sense. And then if there's equipment that's gonna go bad, maybe that makes sense as well. But just to buy something to save taxes typically doesn't really make too big of a difference. Especially like when it gets to the trucks, like if it's a net new truck, that can make good logical sense. But if you're replacing a truck, the only real taxable benefit you get is the difference between the original one and the new one. So it's very, very small. So these are just things that a lot of people ask us about.